Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how to make this crop top that you can see on the thumbnail. I am using fabric, it's cotton. So let's get into it. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, thumbs up this video. If you have any other topic you want me to film for you, please let me know. So I'm going to start from the beginning here. I'm using freehand. Yeah, this outfit is for me. Yeah, so from here I'm going to cut my upper bust length. My upper bust length, I'm using 7 inches. I'll cut my bust length. My bust length is 11.5, and then I will now cut my waist length. My waist length is usually 16.5, but because this is a crop top, I always use 18 as my crop top length, or I can even use 19. Okay, but because this outfit, at the waist side, it has elastic, I'm also going to cater for that. So I'm going to make this excuse me, I'm going to use in total 22.5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to connect everything together. So the next thing I'll do is that that the front part of this is a button down outfit. So I'm going to first of all measure out 3 inches. This 3 inches is going to serve as my button, where the button is going to be, and also for the button hole. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and connect everything together. It is now from this 3 inches line I'll start marking my measurements. Okay, so I'm going to mark my shoulder. My shoulder is 15, that's divided by 2, 7.5 plus 1 inch for sewing allowance, which is 8.5. I'll come down here and mark the 8.5 at the upper bust length. So on this same upper bust length, I'm going to measure out my round bust. My round bust I am using here is 48. My round bust is actually like 44, but I'm using 48, because this cloth is a shirt, it does not have that, so that is free. So I am using 12 inches, and then my sewing allowance is 14 inches. And that is what I used to get my folding. So I'm not going to waste any clothes. I won't do any measurements on the round bust, because it's the same thing as the measurement on the upper bust. Do you get? So now on the upper bust length, yeah. So at the waist side, I will do the same thing. Like I'll make it to be straight as well. Like I won't remove anything. I'll just take it down straight this way. Okay. By the time we add the elastic to the waist, it's going to take our waist in. So I'll go ahead and connect these lines together, and then connect here to create my round armhole. This round armhole, because I'm doing freehand, is not necessarily it might not necessarily be your actual round armhole. Okay, you have to resize the clothes. You have to measure it at later if need be, which I'll show you guys. 2 inches here. So for the neckline, we are going to do 3 inches. Remember, I'm getting a measurement from here. 3 inches to 1 inch. Okay, and then you're going to connect it. But this 1 inch now, you connect it all the way to the full length. That's this part that that's going to serve as your button something. So this is what it is I have now. I'll go ahead and cut this out, but I'll not cut out the neckline. So right now, you see this 3 inches line. Now I'll go ahead and fold it in. Okay, because now I want to cut the back of I want to use this pattern and cut the back. So I'm going to fold it in. Okay, so I will now use this like this and cut the back of this shirt. So what I will now do is I will now come here. Remember our neckline that we marked here? I will now cut it. I want to mark this 1 inch here so that you can see it well. I will just cut it here. Do you get? So this is what I'm going to do to cut the neckline for both the front and the back. So if you see, when I open it, I'll now now I've opened it up here, I've cut it. When I've opened it, I'll remove this side. So this is the front, and then this is the back. The back, you're not going to open it, it's just going to be closed like this. Okay, you're not going to slash it open. But then for the front part, which is this, we are going to slash it open, so we can have like 2 patterns for the 2 piece for the front and then 1 piece for the back. The next thing I am going to go ahead and do is to use hemming gum and make out our cover, like where our buttonhole is going to be. And how I'm going to do that is using hemming gum. I'll first of all fold this. You know, we brought out 3 inches, so I'm going to fold this by 1 inch. Please, not 1.5. So by the time you finish, 1 will be remaining here. So I'll fold this in by 1 inch and I'll iron it down. And then I'll use hemming gum. I'll use hemming gum to like keep it down. I'll do the same thing again. 1 inch, do you get? I'll do the same thing again. This is going to help to secure that place down, okay? So guys, this is what we have for the front. So this is the place where you go ahead and sew down. So let me replicate the same thing for this side of it and I'll come back to you guys. So now guys, we are going to cut the sleeve of this outfit. So for the sleeve, if you see the way it looks, you can, I don't know how to, like, let's just get into it. You come down by 8 inches here, okay? You come down by 8 inches here. It is for this 8 inches that you are going to now do your round armhole. Bear with me, you're going to understand soon. So from these 8 inches here, I'll place my round my tape on 7.5. Remember my shoulder is 15 divided by 2, 7.5. So I'm going to place my tape at 7.5. This is how I'll now mark out my actual sleeve length. So I'll just go ahead now and mark for the where I want my sleeve to stop. Remember that this sleeve has what are they calling it, gathers at some point, do you get? Yeah, so with the length I'm going to use for this, from 7.5, I'm going to use length of 42 inches. Okay, this length of 42 inches is going to include both my sewing allowance, the puffy vibe I want this to have, do you get? So I'll go ahead and mark it. So now I have marked it, I'll divide this length from this 42. You know, we did that thing from 7.5 here, remember? It was from 7.5. So I'll now get the actual distance from here to that 42. What I have is 34.5. So with this 34.5, I want to get the, like, divide it into 3. Do you get? I want to divide it into 3. If I divide it into 3, it will be about 11.5. So what I'm going to be using is, I'll use 11.5 here. Then I'll use, it's not 11.5 through like actual fact, but I'm just using 11.5. Do you get? So I'm using 11.5 here. In fact, scratch that. I'm not going to use 11.5. I'm going to use 10 inches. Why I'm using 10 inches is because, you know, we are still going to sew our allowance at the down parts. So I want us so that the gathers will seem equal. I mean, where the gathers are, being at the smoking is going to seem equal. So I'll use 10 here, and then I'll use 20 inches for this other one. Do you get? So these are the places where I'm going to smoke the outfits, the sleeves. Do you get? So at this point, I'm going to smoke it. Let me mark it out. Let me mark it straight. I don't want to smoke the whole thing, so I'm going to smoke about 10 inches here, 10 inches in. So I'll smoke here and leave this rest. I'll also do the same here. So by the time I smoke it, it will, you know, reduce the puffiness. I don't know if you get what I mean, but from the look of the clothes, you can understand it. So now that we are back to these off parts, okay, what I'm going to do, the reason why we left this off part is so I can have that puffy vibe. So I'll now come here, probably just come in by, let's say 4 inches, because I want my thing to have enough height. Coming by 4 inches. When it comes by 4 inches this way, okay, do you see how I'm doing it? I cut it this way. Do you get? So by the time I gather all this place, it will form my armhole. Yeah, so this is what I'm going to have. So I'll go ahead and slash here, open here, put a notch here to indicate the centers. Okay, so I'll now go ahead and cut this sleeve out. this sleeve, obviously we didn't have any round measurements because it's going to have, remember that we are having elastic in it. That is why we didn't do any round measurements, blah 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 blah. Yes, so by the time we reach here, this is how we follow this sleeve, this way. So you see the way I cut it. So by the time I now join, let me even see what I have here. Okay, this is 18, which is 36 inches. By the time I join everything together, it will form to my round armhole. So what I'll be doing next now is to notch here. I'll carry this thing straight. I'll notch here these two places so that it will show me the places where I am going to be smoking. Do you get? We're going to use the smoking thread to do that. So I am going to smoke from here to here, from here to. So guys, the first thing I'll be doing is to sew down this place that we put this the hemming gum. So guys, now I've finished sewing it. You can see I've sewn it down. So the next thing I'll do now is to connect the, like, join one side of the front to the back. So for this shoulder part, I'm going to sew it this way. For 050 here, I'll sew it diagonally, like down. I'll come down to 1 inch. Do you get? Because I didn't remove it from my, on the one I was cutting, the cutting table. This is going to help to give that shoulder slope. Our shoulder is not straight. Okay, so you can see how I sew this thing now. So I'm going to go ahead and sew my side, the sides, like join these sides together. Remember I told you guys when I was cutting this, if you remember that, because I didn't cut this with pattern, it's freehand, the armhole might not be the exact armhole that I want. Do you get? For my armhole measurement, my armhole is, I'm using 22 for this outfit because I want it to be free. So my round armhole I'm using for this outfit is 22. And if we mark this, if we measure this, I have just about 16 inches here. So what I'm going to do, I'll make sure that my shoulder, my neck side here align with each other. Okay, and then my this side also align with each other. So what I'll be doing is to remark my armhole. Like, I just use freehand literally to like trace it out. I use freehand to trace this out, guys. There is no hard and fast rule because it's a free cloth. I don't really care much. Okay, so this is what I am going to have. So if I measure this out now, when I cut this out, I am going to be having about 11 inches. So this is me cutting out my round armhole. Okay, so this is my new round armhole. So what I will now do is that I'll go and do my sleeve now and then join it to this place. So let's head over to this thing. So guys, right now I want to cut out my elastic. My round waist there, I want to use 32. So I'm going to cut out this elastic in such a way that by the time I stretch it, like, the length of the elastic is not going to be 32. However, by the time I stretch it, it will reach 32. Okay, so I want to use, like, let's say 23 inches. So if I stretch this elastic, it will even pass 23. It will pass my round waist. Okay, so I'm going to be using 23 for this so that I am still snatched and then at the same time comfortable. So guys, can you see I folded this in here, then I'll fold it again so I can sew it down. This is the place that we are going to put our elastic inside. Okay, so let's go ahead and sew it down. So it's time for me to fix the elastic. So I'm going to be using 2 pins. I'm going to insert this pin at one edge here. I'll also insert the other pin at this other edge. Okay, then I'll begin to pass this through this top. I'll pass it through here until I reach the end. So guys, you can see that now I've brought this out from this side, but I'll fix it in. I'll hold it, what's this again, pin here, and then I'll come and sew down here so that I can secure the elastic here. You don't want this part to have the elasticated effect. Okay, I've been an elasticity effect. That's the correct English. So I'll come here and hold this elastic. I'll double it very well so that it will hold it down. So now I have held it down at this point. I'll go ahead and now remove the needle. So you see what you have. You see how like the vibe is given. This part, it does not have any elasticity, but this part has it. So I'll go ahead and replicate the same thing for this end. I want to cut my collar so we can fix it. So I'm going to measure out this round neck to know how many inches my collar is going to be. Okay, so from the measurement, my collar is 17 and a half. Can you see? So I'm going to go ahead and my collar is 17 and a half. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out my collar. So let's do that. You can see I used 11 and a half for my collar. So what I'll do, I'll come to this side and mark 17 and a half divided by 2 should be 8.75. So this 8.75, this is the actual collar here. So I'll go ahead and add 050 to it. At this side, this 050 is going to serve as our sewing allowance. So I'll now mark, like, connect from here to this side, okay? So that, you know, this is a collar. This part is going to be the side that, can you see what I did? So this is the collar. We are going to cut out this side. So what I'm going to do now is to iron here down by 050. I'll iron it down. I'll also iron this part down by 050. After ironing it, remember that this part is now ironed in. So I'll now fold it this way, like double it this way. Remember, I'll fold it 050 in here, and then I'll sew this edge. I'll also sew this edge and then iron it down. So let me do that and I'll be back. So guys, you can see that I've gone ahead to sew everything and I've turned it. You see the way it looks. Remember that I folded this part in by 050. If you like, you can add interfacing to your work. I didn't want to add mine. I just wanted it to be light. Yeah, so you can add interface for it to give it more structure. So the next thing we'll do now is to, like, for it to be more firm, is to connect this. You're going to put this to this place. Can you see what I'm doing? I will insert this side into this collar, in between it, and I'll use pin and hold it. Can you see the way it looks at this side and also at this side? So I'm going to do the same thing until we reach the end. Let me also put this end inside here. Can you see? So I will now fix the rest inside here, and then after I finish doing that, I'll sew it very close, like closely here. But when you're doing it, be careful so that you make sure that you're carrying both the front and back. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do that. So guys, I've entered the sleeve. This is the first sleeve. The first thing I'm going to do now is to fold this edge. This is the edge that will be at the sleeve, at the wrist side. I'm going to fold it just like how we did for the waist of the top, because I'm going to be passing an elastic here. So I am going to go ahead and sew this neatly. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is, remember that this is our outfit, these clothes. Remember that we notched 2 places. This is the first notching that we did. Can you see the notching here? And this is the second notching that we did. Can you see the notching here? And we are supposed to sew 10 inches. We're supposed to smoke 10 inches in on both sides. So you're going to reel your elastic thread. This is my elastic thread. You can see this thread stretches, and then that is what I'm going to use and do the smoking. Yeah, so I'm going to, let me even measure it out and mark it. Okay, this is the side that I'm going to smoke. This part, it has the edges, so I'm going to mark 10 inches from the middle of the thing. I'll mark it down 10 inches here down. I'll do the same thing for this side. Remember that we did that on the sleeve already. I'm just trying to indicate it back. Okay, it's not anything serious. So this part, I'm going to mark it as 20. Okay, so this is, I'm going to smoke from this length to this length. And then the smoking as well, I'm going to do like 3 lines, 1 2 3 for the smoking. It's not going to be just one stitch I'm going to run. I'm going to run like 3 or 4. Yeah, this is the part where we are going to put in the elastic on. Yeah, so you can see that I've gone ahead to do the smoking. Can you see that? So this is what you have. They also have the smoking. Like I told you guys, these two places, the first smoking and second smoking, I didn't reach the end. I stopped, like, you guys know, 10 inches in and out. I mean, in, you get what I'm trying to say. Then at this part, this is the part that's going to join to the armhole. I also rushed and did the smoking on it. Can you see what I am showing you? So yeah, so I'm going to measure out the elastic. I'm going to be adding at the, I'm going to be using at the wrist side. I'm going to be using 7 inches for the elastic, 7 inches. So I'm going to turn it this way and then cut it. So you know we're going to have 2 strands, one for the left and one for the right. So I'll go ahead and string it into the clothes. By the time I string it into this wrist and it's now constricted here, I'll go ahead and now sew this at the edge, like sew these parts all the way down, okay, so that we can now form the sleeve and then we'll attach it to the top.